Continuity of Operations Program. And what a COP is designed to do is help emergency management teams from separate agencies get on the same page to follow similar procedures in a disaster so they can better work together. It does so by taking into account the different levels of responsibility by federal, state, local, corporate, and even tribal and indigenous disaster response teams. After the Oklahoma City bombings in 1993 by Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, the NFPA became instrumental in developing disaster response for mass destruction policy. The NFPA 1600 was used to assess the disaster response after the attacks on 9/11 by the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States, otherwise known as the 9/11 Commission. The NFPA was adopted by the Department of Homeland Security in 2003 and has been used as the gold standard on disaster response by most of the U.S. government agencies. The NFPA 1600 is so far-reaching that even our own university's emergency management team uses it as a guide for creating disaster policy. Large corporations such as Procter & Gamble and Tyco have hired the NFPA to train their emergency management teams, and they've built their EM policies off of the NFPA 1600. The NFPA 1600 is a comprehensive guide that covers everything from mass destruction in a terrorist attack to what a family should do in case of a disaster. And again, it describes the duties for each level of emergency management. Without anything like the NFPA 1600, getting separate agencies to work together in a cohesive fashion after a disaster would be chaos. What the NFPA 1600 does is normalize procedures across agencies and for individuals so that they or we can mitigate and prepare with as many resources as possible rather than trying to do it separately. Then during the response and recovery phases, there are already similar plans in place between agencies in order to be successful. Otherwise, response and recovery would be delayed. So thanks to the NFPA 1600 and its wide acceptance by many government agencies, disaster response NGOs and corporations, the chance of the U.S. to return to normal after disaster is pretty high. You can find the NFPA 1600 link for free in the link down below in the description. And please ask me any questions you have. I love this subject and I'm glad to talk about it at any time. And I'm really passionate about EM teams across agencies working together to be more successful. Thanks.